Why, hello, everybody. We made it to Tuesday. That's right. January the 4th. We made it to Tuesday. And we're going to be talking a little bit about news and politics, mainly politics, and one particular item because it keeps on showing up in the news. And that is the filibuster. That's right. We have crying Chuck Schumer that wants to make changes or kill the filibuster in order to pass through some legislation, which he doesn't have full support of the Senate. He currently has 49 Democrats, one independent, making it 50. Then, of course, a solid 50 of Republicans. And it's the way I understand the filibuster is anybody could initiate the filibuster, which pretty much prevents a bill from being heard or voted on. But let's actually hear more about the filibuster. The filibuster from History.com. See, the filibuster is a political strategy in which a senator speaks or threatens to speak for hours on end to delay efforts to vote for a bill. The unusual tactic takes advantage of the U.S. Senate rule that says that a senator, once recognized on the floor, may speak on the issue without being impeded by anyone. While various rule changes have tempted or had tempered the filibuster's power over the past century, it still offers a unique leverage to the minority political party in the Senate. Because we're a republic and not a democracy, where the republic, everyone gets a voice. The term filibuster originated from the 18th century word filibuster, which is reference to pirates who pillaged the Spanish colonies in the West Indies. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, by the mid 1800s, the term has evolved into filibuster and taken on political meaning to describe the process in which long-winded senators hold the legislation body hostage by their verbiage. The famous filibusters. Actor James Stewart made a filibuster famous in the 1939 film Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. In the movie, Stewart plays a young senator who talks nearly 24 hours to delay a vote on a corrupt public works bill. Nothing's changed. The real life senator, South Carolina Senator Storm Thurmont, topped Stewart's character's performance in 1957. Senator Thurmont armed himself with throat lozenges and malt milk balls and spoke for 24 hours and 18 minutes to stall the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1957. As a part of his extended performance, the then 55-year-old senator read the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Criminal Code, and the voting laws of 48 states. According to Nadine Cajotas, the 1993 biology Strom Thurmond and the politics of Southern Change, Thurmond prepared by the first dehydrating in the steam room in the hopes of avoiding using the bathroom for many hours. After 12 hours, Senator Paul Douglas of Illinois tried to speed matters along and place a pitcher of orange juice on Thurmond's desk. Cohadas writes, Thurmond drank the glass before an aide removed it from his reach. Strategy born through a loophole. Throughout history, senators have debated the merits of the filibuster. Some argue it's an important tactic empowering a minority power that otherwise would have little sway in the Senate. Others contend it plays too much of a role and undemocratic in a way, and it can paralyze the ability of the majority to act. We were once a republic, not a democracy, so sure, call it undemocratic. There is no filibuster in the House of Representatives because rules adopted in the larger legislative body strictly limits the amount of time that each representative may speak on the House floor. That's because there's about 400 of them. The loophole that permits senators' right to speak endlessly on the Senate floor dates to the Vice President Aaron Burr, who declared in 1805 that the Senate need not to be burdened by too many procedural rules. Back then, the process to end a debate on legislation is known as the previous question motion was rarely used, so upon Burr's recommendation, the Senate dropped it in 1806. Oof! The minority party senators soon figured out that talking endlessly on the Senate floor could prolong the debate indefinitely and gum up the process or progress on a bill or a nominee. The first successful filibuster was recorded in 1837 when a group of the Whig senators who opposed President Andrew Jackson filibuster to prevent Jackson allies from expunging a resolution and censure against him. Rule 22, defanging the filibuster. The filibuster's habit of stalling the legislative process frustrates various senators throughout the 1800s who tried unsuccessfully multiple times to abolish the rule. Finally, in 1917, President Woodrow Wilson urged a change after he pushed to arm merchant ships against the German U-boats during the run-up of World War I. Failed in the face of the Senate filibuster. Wilson denounced the senator who had stalled his wartime proposal as a little group of willful men who had rendered the great government of the United States helpless and contemptible. He railed against public outcry against the tactic and lobbied the Senate to adopt Rule 22. Rule 22 authorized 2/3 of the vote to invoke cloture or official closure to the debate upon the vote of a supermajority of the senators. The rule limits the consideration of pending matter to the final 30 more hours of the debate. Rule 22 was first successfully applied in 1919 with the Senate invoked the cloture to halt the filibuster against the Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended World War I. Even with the new cloture rule, however, filibuster remained effective means to block legislation since achieving 2/3 of the vote is difficult. Yeah, just look at the both Republicans and Democrats. Among the most notable example of when the Senate managed to invoke cloture was 1967 when a group of Southern lawmakers tried to filibuster the Civil Rights Act. In 1964, filibuster against the Landmark Act, which included bans on lynching and discrimination in public accommodations, went on for 57 days before the Senate mustered the supermajority of 67 votes to call for the cloture. I like how they say Southern lawmakers when it was Democrats who did that. A little history lesson there. Changes in the Senate practice would eventually curb the drama of the filibuster. In the early 1970s, Senate leaders adopted changes that allows more than one bill on the matter to be pending on the floor at once, before with only one bill under consideration at the time. The filibuster could stop all other matters in the Senate as long as the senator kept talking. Now, with multiple measures moving at once, the leadership can simply set aside the controversial bill and theoretical debate continues to move on to other matters in the meantime. By 1975, rules were further changed to make it easier to invoke cloture, requiring just 3/5 of the majority of the vote to end the filibuster, or 60 votes. Efforts to halt the filibusters remain challenging. However, since 41 senators can definitely block a bill by refusing to end the theoretical debate or vote for cloture. Hope I'm saying that right. It's a really interesting word. As partisan clashes came head to head in the 1990s and 2000s, the senators turned to the filibuster more frequently in the effort to thwart the majority party, according to the research of UCLA. Political scientist Barbara Sinclair, there was an average of one filibuster per Congress during the 1950s. That number grew steadily and spiked in 2007 and 2008, the 110th Congress, where there were 52 filibusters. By the time the 111th Congress adjourned in 2010, the number of filibusters risen to 137 for the entire 2-year term. Nominations freed from filibuster. One way the filibuster can no longer be used is blocking executive and judicial branch nominees. In 2013, Democrats held the majority in the Senate and had grown frustrated by stalled nominations by President Barack Obama for cabinet posts and federal judgeships. The then Majority Leader Harry Reid of Nevada, citing unbelievable, unprecedented obstruction by the Senate Republicans, prompted a call to use for the nuclear option. This option voted in by 52 of the 48 vote along party lines to change the rules that the executive branch cabinet's appointments and judicial nominee below the Supreme Court can proceed with a simple majority of 51 votes. Apart from the nomination, filibusters have become so ingrained with the Senate process that new bills generally do not go to vote unless the leadership is assured that they have at least 60 votes, and even the prospect of filibuster can hold up the final vote or force the bill supporters to make changes in the bill. That means while the filibuster remains very much alive in its current form, the endless performance of long-winded, beery-eyed, dehydrated senators are now mostly limited to the movies and history books. And it just has the sources: The Art of the Filibuster, How Do You Talk for 24 Hours Straight by the BBC News, The Senate Filibuster Explained, New York Times, Filibusters and Cloture, United States Senate, Filibusters and Cloture in the Senate, the Congressional Research Service, The Silent Majority, The Atlantic, the Senate Floor Procedures, United States Senate, Filibuster, Cloture, and what the nuclear option means for Gorsuch nominee and future of the Senate, Los Angeles Times. The longest filibuster in history lasted more than a day. Here's how it went down, Business Insider. So pretty much the filibuster is highly Republican because it gives the minority an option to stall policies that may hurt a particular party or maybe hurt a particular state or just hurt the country as a whole. So the fact that the Democrats are upset that they can't get certain policies passed is a good thing because we get the filibuster, which is a check on the balance of power. That just means that if you're in a majority, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to get your policies enacted. Pretty much every president post Bush Jr. had this issue. Let's say Obama had this issue. Trump had this issue, and now Biden's having this issue. And it's more of a check on the balance of power to make sure that we're passing mostly legit policies. Unfortunately, I don't think that we're passing mostly legit policies up in the federal government. Anytime that they pass a bill, we're slowly losing our rights, one piece at a time. With that being said, leave a comment down below on what your thoughts of the filibuster. Should it stay? Should it go? And please smash the like and subscribe button on any and all platforms, or just the platform that you're currently watching on. And most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.